Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Sofia Gutierrez. The administration of California State University Northridge recently told Valley View that as far as it knows, no senior university officials have COVID-19 symptoms. Also, the school isn't conducting COVID-19 screening tests for faculty and staff. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, CSUN moved to virtual classes online. Also, for now, Valley View News will present some of our favorite stories from the past, along with a few stories our reporters recently did while working in the San Fernando Valley. Valley View's Esteban Reynoso tells how the crisis means less air pollution. Xochitl Hernandez visited a big box store with frantic shoppers. Brittany Smith reports on crucial meal deliveries for the needy. And we lead off with William Dabi's story on international students being forced to return to their home countries because of COVID-19.
Many cities such as Los Angeles and Montreal, where I am currently, are on lockdown. Non-essential businesses and schools are closed. Parts of the cities have much less people. Those changes affected many international students, and some had to leave the United States. For safety reasons, they ended up in quarantine after arriving in their home countries.
So I left school about 2 weeks ago, and at first I was kind of happy to find my parents back and see them again, but now days are getting kind of long and I'm getting bored.
Students could choose whether to leave or stay, but most schools stated that they wouldn't make arrangements for evacuations.
My mother and my father, they were worried about me staying there because things in the United States were growing fast, and in the season, campus housing had 2 suspects of coronavirus, so it was better to leave.
When the international student gets back home, they're faced with a mandatory 2-week quarantine. They're also dealing with unemployment, social isolation, or even difficulties when it comes to grocery shopping.
We are only allowed to leave to go to the grocery store or to go to the doctor, stuff like that. And you have to have a paper, like official paper sign as saying what we're doing and the time and day we're leaving our home.
The outbreak is reported to peak in California in late April. Reporting from Montreal for Valley View News, I'm William Dabi.
Get in line, folks. Thank you for waiting.
Even in the pouring rain, Santa Clarita residents, like many people all around California, waited outside Costco and other stores in order to shop.
Everywhere there is, it's just a bunch of lines.
The COVID-19 pandemic and state of emergency caused this mother at Vallarta to stock up for quarantine.
I want to be ready to have food at home for my kids, just in case they do shut up the stores and close everything, all the businesses, since all the schools are already closed.
Customers are lined up everywhere. Parking lots are full and shopping carts overflow with food. As of April 5th, there are more than 330,000 cases of coronavirus nationwide. Over 9,000 have died. Those who still must work don't have the luxury of shopping whenever they want.
Yesterday when I got out of work, I passed through the stores and it was crazy, chaotic. So this morning, me and my daughter woke up early and we've been to 4 different stores today.
Her daughter also senses the panic around her.
My dad's really worried. My mom, I just didn't want her to go alone to the stores because, I could just imagine, people, everyone's getting, pounds of meat.
You ain't coming inside unless you're waiting in line, folks.
Governor Gavin Newsom has ordered a shelter in place for California residents, but there is plenty of food and supplies to go around. Reporting from Santa Clarita for Valley View News, I'm Xochitl Hernandez.
And the County of Los Angeles is issuing a safer at home, stay at home order.
The coronavirus pandemic has forced a complete stop to some everyday habits. Workplaces and schools are shut down in an effort to slow down the spreading of the virus. That means fewer people are on the roads.
Los Angeles is sort of the poster child for bumper-to-bumper traffic most any time of the day or night. On many freeways, we have freeways that accommodate hundreds of thousands of cars a day.
That's Dr. Aval, a professor of environmental health at USC. He measures the air quality and pollution in Los Angeles.
And there's even a color-coded index, the so-called Air Pollution Index, API, that you can look at that sort of shows in what the levels are like. The idea being that, green is good and red is bad.
This map shows Los Angeles' air quality index this time last year in 2019. We see lots of yellow and even some orange pop up. But this year, it's a lot different. There's a lot of green, and city officials are noticing.
We can see it in the air, we can feel it on the empty streets, and I want to thank you, because those are the only metrics we can really go by to see whether people are abiding by what we're asking them to do.
This is Glen Oaks Boulevard in Sylmar, and normally on a Sunday afternoon, it would be bustling with cars, but today, there's hardly anybody. The last time air quality was this good in Los Angeles, the 1940s. Reporting in Sylmar, I'm Esteban Reynoso for Valley View News.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
We're all over LA. You know, honestly, we have Glendale, we have some in Long Beach.
The Dream Center hands out over 11,000 meals a day to the people of LA.
We have some in Southgate.
Tatiana Galvez works with the Dream Center. She delivers meals to the homes of the elderly in the community. With the help of LA Dodgers player Justin Turner and other generous donors, the Dream Center, a religious-based nonprofit organization, set up a food drive to provide free meals for LA during this time of crisis.
We have families that live here, you know, homeless families, single mothers. They come in here and they eat and they feed on a regular basis, not just right now. They feed over 2,000 people.
For some elderly who can't leave their homes, the Dream Center's delivery is a big help. It's also free of charge. If you need a meal delivered to you or an elderly person you know of, you can apply online at thedreamcenter.org for a delivery.
Bye, Miss Gloria. Here in LA, North Hollywood, we're providing hot meals to them every day.
The Dream Center is open Monday through Friday, and they're here to serve anyone who's in need of a hot meal. In downtown LA, I'm Brittany Smith, reporting.
More than 12,000 people showed up outside of Los Angeles City Hall to hear 2020 presidential candidate and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. The crowd cheered as Bernie spoke out against Wall Street and special interest groups.
We say that whether you like it or not, the United States will join every other major country on earth and guarantee health care to all people as a right.
Cal State Dominguez Hills student Alexis Allencanter says she's followed Bernie's politics for years. She admires his willingness to restructure the political system.
I love that he was one of the first to put a spotlight on the corrupt system we have in politics. So campaign finance reform is a huge thing because I think it's the root of the problem that we have in the system.
Sanders also held rallies in San Diego and San Francisco. He says his 2020 campaign will be different than his last.
Oh, we're going to win California. We're going to win the Democratic nomination.
Bernie Sanders and his supporters are ready for change. They say they will continue fighting no matter what. I'm here in downtown Los Angeles for Valley View News, Veronica Barriga. Stagehands are on deck and lighting cues are called as performance artist Mzuri Moyo Mbaye moves through rehearsal. It's for her one-woman show, The Fannie Lou Hamer Story.
High school student was in that jail cell.
Hamer was a civil rights activist. During the 1960s, she was jailed and beaten for exercising her right to vote.
People don't realize that after they amended the 14th Amendment, it took 95 years for
blacks to be able to vote after that, after slavery ended.
The show pays tribute to Hamer's testimony at the 1964 Democratic Convention, which many say helped pass the Voting Rights Act the next year. For Mbaye, the project is personal. She says it allowed her to transform her anger and change her life.
Fannie Lou Hamer's rage was channeled, mine wasn't, so I felt that doing this performance, writing this play and performing it after 18 years, I've had a way to channel my anger and my life is so much better.
Mbaye hopes her performance can inspire others in their darkest days. But the real takeaway, she says, can be found in Fannie Lou's favorite song.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. That they can shine their light, Everybody has a light and they should shine it.
In Northridge, for Valley View News, I'm Veronica Barriga.
Halloween is just around the corner, and so is World Vegan Day. People at Vegan Exchange LA in North Hollywood are preparing themselves with spooky vibes, music, and meals.
The 25th anniversary of World Vegan Day is approaching. It was designed to promote the benefits of a vegan diet.
Come check it out, guys.
There's still misconceptions about the lifestyle.
They think that veganism means it's healthy, and it's not necessarily.
Vegan Exchange LA CEO Jessica Shea says veganism is not a diet.
It means that you don't eat, wear, or pay for animal exploitation in any way, shape, or form.
Unlike a vegetarian diet, which allows the consumption of dairy and eggs, a vegan-based diet doesn't let you consume products produced from animals. That includes clothing. Vanessa Sahagan says her love for animals influenced her decision to go vegan.
I started getting more animals in my home and having dogs and a pig and chickens in my home. I just don't see it logically for me to eat them.
Veganism has seen a recent increase in popularity on social media, leading to more vegan-friendly choices at restaurants and schools. This change has made the switch for people like Summer Rain easier.
When I first became vegetarian 12 years ago, you couldn't go to any store and buy like a vegan burger. It was very, very limited.
However, Jessica says a diet change is easy. She says mentally the switch is difficult.
It's not the food, it's the mental. It's the peer pressure, it's the family traditions, it's the things that you think you're supposed to be doing. The people in your ear being like, but bacon,
I don't eat my dog, why would I eat my pig? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, she got her point across. Despite the growing popularity of veganism, a 2018 report by Gallup suggests that only 3% of Americans consider themselves vegan. But this was a 1% increase from 2012.
Being a college student athlete isn't easy. It takes a lot of time. But baseball player Stone Schiffman is stretching out. He launched University and Me, a ticket sales site.
A ticket website that benefits colleges whenever you want to get a ticket to a concert, a sporting event, anything you think of.
The site launched in July. Schiffman says the idea was in the works since April. He says it arose from the lack of funding for a renovated CSUN baseball stadium.
And we didn't have enough money to get it, and so why not make like a little fundraiser.
Schiffman's site generates revenue from sales just like StubHub and Ticketmaster. But there's one key difference. With a valid school email, a percentage of the money spent is donated to your university's athletic program. The amount donated is based on money spent per purchase. And while some CSUN students like Christian Urrutia think this is great,
I like it. Yeah, because it's going to bring funds to the school.
Others, like Chelsea Reyes, say the money should go to departments needing more funding and resources.
If at least they would divide the percentage that the athletic department is getting and distribute that into other departments.
It is important to note that per NCAA rules, Schiffman can't receive a single dollar for his website till after he's done with school here at CSUN. However, University and Me app is set to launch sometime in December. Reporting from Northridge for Valley View News, I'm Luis Zuniga.
Cal State Northridge is the first school in the CSU system to provide students with a wellness vending machine. The machine contains a variety of discounted items, including emergency contraceptive pills for $25 and pregnancy tests for $5.
So if you want to check it out just in case, we'll go and it help us out so we won't be that scared, if we're pregnant or not.
Shira Brown is the director of the Women's Research and Resource Center at CSUN. She says the idea was brought to her by a student intern.
For her, it was about how can we make this available every day, maybe not 24 hours a day, but at least every day of the week so that students can go in and get the pill.
A 2014 report by the Institute for Women's Policy Research found that more than 4 million college students are raising children, which may explain why certain items have sold more.
The emergency contraceptive pill is selling out like gangbusters. It's selling more than we ever anticipated.
If we do have a scare or something, we could just go and buy stuff from the vending machine and it'll be really good for us.
While some CSUN students may have concerns about this vending machine only accepting credit or debit card during any purchase due to sharing bank statements with their parents, anything bought from this vending machine will appear as a fast food order to protect the student. Reporting from Northridge for Valley View News, I'm Luis Zuniga.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
There is no crisis, and you're not gonna get any $5 billion.
Congresswoman Maxine Waters joined the activists to show her support. She said California is leading the way in the fight against the declaration.
We don't care whether it's a concrete wall, it's a steel wall, or it's a beaded curtain. We're not going for it.
Several groups attended the rally, including a Resist Trump group called Indivisible. Vlad Popescu, who helped organize the protest, said they're here to unite and resist.
And he's creating fear in order to push his racist agenda. And we're here to say, no, this is a fake emergency, and you're not doing the right thing.
Many protesters held signs and posters while chanting, "Fake emergency." LA resident Nancy Villa said she thinks Trump shouldn't be in office.
Congress holds the purse strings. He couldn't get what he wanted, and he decided to declare this national emergency. I'm hoping it'll go through the courts and they'll make it right.
California is one of 15 states, including Colorado and New Mexico, who are filing a lawsuit against President Trump's declaration. In downtown LA, I'm Samantha Rodriguez for Valley View News. Lake Elsinore is experiencing its first super bloom in many years. Orange poppies fill the hillsides. The super bloom is a popular tourist attraction. Hundreds of people are visiting the trails. It's also the perfect place to take pictures.
I think that's what everyone's doing. I'm looking around, everyone's just snapping.
Ernie Malero drove 2 hours to get the perfect shot.
It was awesome.
While many visitors were taking pictures of the flowers, some did yoga with the flowers. Others just admired them. Illustrator Scott Brazy says he came to the super bloom to paint the poppies. He says this is a rare occasion.
Getting a chance to see a natural phenomenon like this in person and then record it, how not just what it looks like through a picture, but how I see it and how I feel about it is just a special moment, I think.
Visitors are also seeing painted ladies flying through the hillsides of Walker Canyon.
Yeah, that's an extra special treat.
Michelle Salmon and Gary Lynch say the migration of butterflies is what makes this super bloom special.
I've lived here my whole life, which is a long time. I'm getting old, and I've never seen that, so it's really nice.
As you can see, there are millions of poppies throughout the hills. The super bloom has attracted hundreds of people all over Southern California to visit the famous flowers. In Lake Elsinore, I'm Samantha Rodriguez for Valley View News.
California State University Northridge is considering whether the school needs a football team along with a new stadium.
Building a stadium could work, but it would be at the expense of the baseball team because we'd have to replace the field with the stadium, and our baseball team's pretty good.
If CSUN wants a new stadium, the university will have to find a place to build it. Land surrounding the campus is limited.
Personally, I don't think we should have a stadium built because we don't have the fan base around here for that, so we wouldn't really make a lot of money, we would lose money, and we don't have the land to build that on.
If a stadium holding thousands of seats is built, some residents and businesses will be affected. Some apartments, homes, and buildings will be torn down.
Honestly, I think it would be a good idea to have a football team. It would be cool, but I don't see how it would work out. They would have to get rid of apartments, homes, and businesses, and I don't think that's fair. And honestly, I live close to the school, so I probably wouldn't even have a home.
A football team might bring a lot of fans and more money to the school, but it will have to cover costs for building a new stadium.
I'm for building a football stadium at CSUN because I think having a football team is important. It brings a college community together, and having that connection is great.
CSUN still isn't close to getting a football team. Nevertheless, some supporters of a team remain optimistic about football being played on campus. This is Matt Roth reporting for Valley View News.
The Center for High School Basketball in Southern California has always gone through Santa Ana, as the modern-day Monarchs have proved to be a powerhouse out of the southern section. However, after recent success, the Sierra Canyon Mustangs are making a strong challenge to the throne.
I think overall, just as a program, modern day, but in the past few years, probably Sierra Canyon.
Sierra Canyon's basketball alumni list is as impressive as anyone. Notable alums include Marvin Bagley, Cassius Stanley, and Scottie Pippen Jr. However, it's modern day that is known for producing the most star athletes. Alums include Stanley Johnson, Miles Simon, and local legend Shea Cotton. This year, the two programs are ranked #1 and #5 in the state of California.
Sierra Canyon for sure.
Why?
Because all the scouts go there, it's really hype and brawny.
According to 24/7 Sports, Sierra Canyon's boys basketball team features 2 top 5 players in the state. The team is living life like rock stars, having already traveled to 8 different states, played on ESPN, and of course, features the sons of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Modern day team isn't as glamorous, but is led by guard Devin Askew, a 5-star Kentucky commit and the #6 rated player in the state of California. Sierra Canyon defeated Modern Day in the Southern Section Championship game for the 2nd year in a row. This could prove to be a changing of the guard for basketball in Southern California. Reporting for Valley View News, I'm Omar James.
Students dealing with stress isn't something new. The National College Health Assessment explains that the #1 issue for students is anxiety and depression. But these problems don't just begin in college, and high school students have their own struggles.
A recent study published by the Pew Research Center showed that 70% of high school teens show signs of anxiety and depression. That is a major problem. But inside the classroom, many students are preparing for life after high school and dealing with the pressures of classes with a high workload. Santa Susana High School student Mitra Hushmandi says there is a lot of pressure.
I lose sleep all the time. I don't sleep. I don't get to eat normally. I don't spend time with my family.
Hushmandi said she had a difficult childhood, which made her vulnerable to high-stress situations in the classroom.
It's really mentally deteriorating. Anything that I do wrong is going to affect something about my future. I'm doing community college because it's cheap and it's good education. But after that, I don't know what I'm going to do because I know I'm not good enough to qualify for scholarships. I know I'm not any special or any different from other people.
So it's color-coded for them? Teachers in the classrooms are sometimes the only ones to see and hear the struggles of students. Royal High School teacher Brett Daly says many students come to him.
If they don't trust you enough with their problems, how are you supposed to teach them?
Okay, so the idea is not to be the psychiatrist or, to sit down and actually, diagnose the problem, but to be able to have the conversation.
High school students are more stressed than ever. Experts say teachers and administration need to maintain a watchful eye. For Valley View News, I'm Scott Gierman. For the first time in 30 years, the number of kids participating in high school sports has declined. According to the National Federation of State High School Associations, the biggest decreases were in basketball and football. Injuries are a big concern. Royal High School football coach Alex Flandez says he's seen a shift in choices made by underclassmen.
With that younger age of the freshman and sophomore class, and I feel like it's just one of those things where it's dying out a little bit, and I think that safety has to be a big thing about it. I think it is.
Last season, some high schools in the Marmani League didn't have enough players to field a freshman team. Royal High School Athletic Director Andy Andreoli says the football program had to change in order to get more players.
I think the number dipped for a while, but now because we've got these precautions already set in, we're starting to see the rise of football coming back.
Royal High has seen a rise in the number of kids playing basketball. Many are playing for the first time. Nearly 80 tried out for basketball. The school says it did its best to keep as many as possible on the team. Still, there are other ways to get involved on campus. Andreoli says some students looked elsewhere.
And the age of electronics, I think, has affected a lot of the decisions to play.
Not every high school is feeling the same effects with decreased participation among high school sports, but in regards to the contact ones, like football, parents still have growing questions and concerns. For Valley View News, I'm Scott Gierman. A new program at Cal State University Northridge will now offer improved academic support services to student athletes. A new certification from the College Reading and Learning Association is the reason. CSUN's Tiana Jones says the help has been a welcomed addition.
Our student athletes are feeling comfortable and confident with the program, and they're also learning a lot quicker. So the transition period in the beginning has been the biggest change.
Only 9 other college programs nationwide have received this honor. Also, the certification will prove to be an academic boost to student athletes. Jones says the Matador Achievement Center is also there for additional support.
The biggest thing is getting to know the students individually. So there's not really a cookie cutter blanket answer, but it's really getting to know that individual student and what they need, what their goals are, and then helping them push to the next level.
The certification, or CRLA, will train graduate students how to teach student athletes better so national academic standards can be met. Instructors will be equipped to teach student athletes how to also balance academics with sports, while also teaching important life skills. CSUN student athlete Griffin Zamora says he has the tools to be successful.
Well, they have tutors in the MAC Center, they have tutors in the library, they have a bunch of extra help that you can go to, so that helps a lot knowing that you don't have a lot of time.
The goal of the program is to help student athletes reach their fullest potential on and off the field, and CSUN officials say it'll do just that. For Valley View News, I'm Scott Gierman.
Thank you for joining us on a special edition of Valley View News. The COVID-19 crisis forced us to make adjustments to our programming, so we replayed a few of our favorite stories from the past. I'm Sofia Gutierrez. See you next week.